Hello, my name is Jared. I'm a moderator at Bear Bull Traders, and today I wanted to go over a trade I took on AMC, June 28th, 2021. I wanted to talk about trading a range-bound stock, good risk management before the move occurs, and identifying a target for a potential trend opportunity using the volume point of control and volume by price study inside of DOS. So let's take a look and see if you can glean any insight based on the trade that I took today. Looking at the AMC charts, we see that on the daily time frame, AMC has been in a trading range set on June 2nd, 2021, with a low of approximately $38 and a high of approximately $72. Ever since that trading range has been set, AMC's price has been within this range in the entire month of June. Now, as price remains in this area, different transactions are occurring at different prices. Some of the highest number of transactions are often going to occur at an area known as a point of control, and usually this is represented by a volume point of control using some sort of volume profile study or volume by price study, as it's called in DOS. As we look at our 15-minute chart, what we can do is right-click, go to Study Config, look up the volume by price study, and inside of volume by price, we can configure it to show the point of control. This can be configured with any sort of style that's desired based on different line styles, and then different configurations can be made. If we add this to our 15-minute chart, we see that this volume point of control is mapped. And what's interesting about this study is that depending on how much data is showing on the chart, the volume point of control will move based on the highest number of transactions occurring in that range of data. So, what does this all do for us as intraday traders? Well, as AMC offers multiple dollars of price range on most days that it does trade, it has been sort of an interesting stock to trade in the month of June. And as we are within this trading range, oftentimes there are opportunities where, as AMC's price starts to get closer to the downside, the price can be considered somewhat oversold away from this main point of control, and the price often reverts back. Specifically, when the price moves too high against this point of control, once again, there is usually a reversion sort of to this mean value where the most transactions have occurred. Now, when you're intraday trading, oftentimes you can use this same concept for your intraday point of control. But what happens is this takes time to set. Usually the market will open, there will be some sort of auction in the morning ranges, and eventually value will be set, and the market will try to either stay at this value zone and transact, or try to move away from this area of value in search of other bidders or sellers. And with AMC, since we've been in this trading range for a long period of time, we want to use our main point of control as sort of a general target. Essentially, if you're too far removed from it, and if you're still within the trading range, there is an opportunity for a bullish trading day to move to this area. And on days where the price is weak, but it is trading above the point of control, you can use this once again as more of a downside target. Essentially, price gravitates towards this point of control as it is an area of balance in the market. And markets like to be in balance so that they can transact between buyers and sellers without too much additional price fluctuation. So, as we look into some of the trades I took today, we note that AMC has a large point of control that is represented by the entire price range. And this point of control is approximately, I would say, about 59.30. This is something that was discussed in the Bear Bull Traders chat room as I was looking to trade AMC today, and I had this general target as an area to consider getting all out of a trade if AMC were to have a bullish setup and a bullish trend in the morning. Now, you can see that on the 5-minute, in the pre-market, I took some trades as we were starting to set value closer to 55.70. This is our morning value, our pre-market value before the market has opened. We see this nice 920 candle, a lot of volatility baked into this candle. I actually had to get out of some of my remaining position as I got a nice move to the upside and then a pretty volatile collapse of the price. As the market opened, I took a couple of entries, most of which trying to establish some sort of core position on the day and looking to just scalp any sort of sharp price movement, along with waiting for a more significant volume signal to get out of the morning range and to sort of tell me whether AMC was going to be more of a long candidate today or if we were going to fade off into the remainder of the day and potentially look to target some lower daily targets around the $50 price range. Ultimately, AMC did move higher, and as we started to trend to the upside, I was able to take multiple entries and exits, all of which are long base trades. So outside of some just positioning and sort of testing the market entries in the morning, I got a really nice long entry as AMC was breaking VWAP. My risk was based on the previous candle. I was able to take profit into two significant daily levels, about 55.60 and into a break of 56, the move above the daily, and then 56.50 for sort of my last all out. I did have a small runner, but that position size was relatively insignificant, and I was waiting to actually re-enter AMC for the next leg of the move. As AMC consolidated, I noticed that we were forming a potential wedge, sort of that bullish flag pennant structure. And I was able to take a couple of scalps while I waited for AMC to break this structure. So you can see that all of these entries, 1, 2, 3, and then sort of a double add into a 4 with a break even on the second position. And then my final sort of entry to get into the next larger move of AMC. All of these are just trying to test the market, essentially getting in with more of a scalp mentality, looking to cut risk as soon as that entry area is lost, and just seeing how long AMC needs to take before we can start to get moving once again. Now, keep in mind, while I'm doing this, my overall goal on the day is to hit my target of 59.30, which is, once again, a couple of dollars higher from this area. And as AMC started to gain some support, you can see the 5-minute 20 period moving average. I believe this is exponential. And things like VWAP starting to cross, along with the volume starting to pick back up on the move. AMC broke once again through VWAP. I was able to get 2 partials out. I took my main partial on a break of 57, and then I had a larger position out closer to 57.50. And this is as we were approaching the previous high of day and as we had broken out of this area. You can also see that AMC is setting up an ABCD pattern with your A, B, C and I guess higher C level here, leading into the strong move towards the end, breaking high of day. Now, this final push that AMC took, you can see that it essentially occurred without too much of a signal on high volume. A lot of traders may look at this and say, you know, this is an ignition. We're looking to really get going on AMC. But to me, this is actually a warning sign that the move may be about to end. Because essentially, we have hit close to, if not exactly, the target in just a few additional moves higher. We got up to our 59.30. And as we make this final break out of the high of day, out of this ABCD structure and this consolidation area on the first move in the morning, we have hit value, which means that AMC is back at fair prices that the market has deemed over time. Now, you may think of this as more of a resistance area. This is not really the case. This is more of that sort of gravity that the market likes to move back towards, to sort of test, to see if value still exists here overall and whether market participants are willing to respect it. Once we get to this area, it is oftentimes quite challenging to move away from it without some sort of catalyst. Usually it takes a period of a couple of hours to set up some sort of entry. And while you sit at this area, you can certainly trade very short-term, lower and higher as we move through value. But the opportunity for large moves is often gone at this time. And eventually, near the afternoon session, we can see AMC last sort of breath to the upside, testing this value area with, I believe, a high print of about 59.36. And then that eventual rollover. You can also see that I was testing another entry back at what was at the time sort of intraday value. We were coming to bounce potentially off of this, and we had a nice little move higher, although I didn't hold the actual trade for very long. So, all in said, we essentially had a nice trading day on AMC. We had a target in mind. And even though I did not hold a core position into that target, I did manage to hold a runner that allowed me to take advantage of the fact that we weren't quite at value yet, and AMC was quite bullish. We certainly had the potential to give us one final push, and then from there, the upside was sort of limited based on some of that analysis. I also had a great opportunity to add. So always looking to improve. I would say this sort of higher low entry on the 5-minute, that was facilitated by some support on the VWAP on the 1-minute, and just a general area to consider getting back into maybe a half size position after taking off a majority of my trade on the first push from my initial entry. And that can be seen on the 1-minute as well. So overall, great trading on AMC. As always, there are ways to improve, but I think the key concepts here is AMC has been in a trading range for a period of time, usually moves significantly away from this area of control, this point of control, are often facilitated by moves back to it, aka moves back to value. There is much to be said about risk mitigation in the morning, not willing to take too significant of a loss as AMC is trying to decide its directionality, and then willing to step in with some size once you do have the move, and then also willing to get back into your core positions once the stock has settled after the first wave of the upside move. And then finally, just having a target in mind and being able to hold some of your position into that target allows you to capture a majority of the directional bias while also feeling as if you haven't missed out on too much, even if it's not a significant part of your initial position. So with that said, I'm Jarad. This is a Bear Bull Traders trade recap for June 28th, 2021. Hopefully this has provided some insight into how I trade AMC. And as always, any comments or questions are welcome. I would love to hear some feedback about this trade and how to potentially view it in a different light. So thank you, and we'll talk soon.